Hello, Epic Human, and welcome back to the Vision Program. We are now at Module 4, and we are going to talk all about the spirit body, the energy body, which is super important because now that you have played with the timeline of all versions of you, now that you have really gotten to know your mind and why do you believe what you believe? Why do you think the way you think? Maybe where does that come from? You've played with different emotions that are evoked with different images and different journal prompts. We've played with all of the other bodies, and now it's your inner wisdom, your intuition, your spirit guides, all things metaphysical. And that is an important part of the journey. Not because, as I've said before, like you're launching the rocket of desire and Sky Daddy's going to bring you all that you ever wanted, especially material items and winning lottery tickets. No, no. But more so because it's your soul. It's this inner wisdom, this inner knowing, this inner calling, if you wish. And a lot of times when I'm doing readings, when I'm doing channeling sessions, people always ask, they say, I don't know if this is my intuition or if this is my mind. And how can I tell the difference between inner critic and intuition? And the answer is actually quite simple. Your intuition is actually not going to be persistent. Your mind, remember we talked about the warrior that has the inner child in the backpack? Imagine what that looks like. A warrior who's very persistent with an emotional inner child in the backpack. Hey, remember when? Hey, you're gonna do that? Hey, 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 watch this, look at this, mom, 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 right? Like that's what it sounds like. So like, did you do the thing? Are you gonna do the thing? Did you do the thing? Are you gonna do the thing? That is 100% mental body and emotional body. Whereas your intuition, your inner wisdom, or your spirit guides, because all the terms can be used interchangeably. You are the universe, by the way. You are the universe inside a human body. So when people say, give it to the universe, it's like, yes, give it to your inner wisdom, give it to you, and trust in your ability to know. However, your intuition is more like a whisper of the heart. So intuition will say, hey, I think it's time that you start taking risks. And there's this big dream you've always had and you tucked it away, and I think it's time to look at it again. And then intuition takes a step back and holds space for you. Just like this. Just hold space. And you with that, you get the nudge, you get the inspiration, you get the message. What happens? Usually instantly, mind goes, can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? Maybe I should get a reading. Maybe I should do my cards just to reconfirm. Maybe I should just, maybe. The circus begins. But inner wisdom is just here. Inner wisdom is going to be like, have you thought of that again? No. It's holding the space of that. And it's waiting for you to untangle the circus, untangle all the emotions, the thoughts, and untangle all of that. And then you sit in a meditation again after you've done all the shadow work, after you've done all the why do I believe that? What must I believe is true in order for that to keep coming? What could I heal? And it comes back, but it's not really that it comes back, it's that it was there all along. It says, oh, your dream, it's still there. And you say, yeah, I'm ready to step into it. So then intuition after that says, okay, let me support you. And then that's when a lot of times your spirit guides will send you little signals, right? You say, okay, let's do the big thing. And then suddenly you find a dime. And then you look at the clock and it's 11:11. Or you look at a license plate and it's JJJ, like, or whatever it may be for you. You get little winks from the universe. And that is spirit saying, yes, you're on the right path. A lot of times people say, Cindy, I see this thing all the time. What does it mean? And then they'll go to the internet and be like, I see this number all the time. What does it mean? And then everybody inputs their thing, right? Oh, that number, it's a frequency in music and it means this. Oh, that number, it's an angel number that means this. That number, everyone's going to have their own interpretation of what that number means. However, none of that is actually real for you. It might be. Maybe someone says something, you're like, that resonates. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with asking. But if you listen to your heart and you say, okay, wait a minute. When I see that number all the time, Am I present in my reality? Usually it's no, because if you're asking what it means, it might just be because you're distracted. So the next time you see the number, physically take a deep breath. So relax your nervous system. By relaxing your nervous system, your mind calms down, quiets down. And then you put your hand on your heart and say, what was I thinking just now? And usually whatever you were thinking just now is something for you to look at. Or maybe it's not a thought, maybe it's okay. What emotions am I going through right now? Okay, I need to look at that. And if you don't have time to look at it right in the moment where you get the number, you get the sign, that's okay. We all have these great little devices now. You can write that down to say, you know what, tomorrow or tonight when I sit in my sacred space before I do my journaling, I'm going to tune into that and see what that might mean. Because a lot of times, if it's a repetitive sign that you're getting, a repetitive synchronicity, it's because there's a repetitive thought or a repetitive emotion that you might not be paying attention to, and your spirit guides are just nudging you towards that. You know, hey, might want to look at this. So that is how we receive guidance. So our intuition, when we get an intuitive thought, I know it sounds weird, right? An intuitive thought. But it's not a thought, mental body thought. It's an intuitive thought, like a knowing, an all-encompassing knowing. It's like, I know this. And it can be tricky because a lot of times we're like, my intuition's saying no to this. Is it your intuition or is it your warrior disguised as your intuition? Because it's like grasping onto straws. Oh my gosh, she's really ready to do a breakthrough and I don't want that. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm her intuition. So a lot of times I tell people, maybe don't take your intuition so seriously. Combine your intuition with your emotions and your thoughts and your body. That's when you get the real message. So, okay, I'm getting this message, this intuitive nudge. I believe in my mental body that it means this. And how does that make me feel? And if it makes you feel not good, it's probably not a download or an intuitive message from source, spirit, your inner wisdom. If it makes you feel not good, though, it's something for you to look at and heal from a mental body, emotional body state and place. So your spirit guides are never going to give you bad news. They're never going to give you, people say like their spirits are scary. I actually had done it was like a TED style talk. I was a keynote speaker at a wellness expo. And my whole talk was around spirits aren't scary because Hollywood has really glamorized this whole like haunted houses and ghosts like throwing things at you and whatever. And I'm not saying like energy is energy and spirit is energy. But at the end of the day, spirit, once you leave your physical body and you become spirit, you're your energy body. You are unconditional love. You are support. You are nurturing and soothing for the humans that are in the 3D reality. So your role is to support, soothe, guide, hold space. You're not haunting houses. You're not like, yeah, you might play with lights and yeah, that might feel scary to the human experience, but like it's not bad. You're not harming anyone, physically hurting people. That does not happen. Now, if you've ever experienced spirit and it was scary, here's what I'm going to ask you to reflect on. Remember? Define, learn, do. Define. It was a scary experience. I define that as a scary experience. What did I learn from that? I don't know. I learned that spirits were scary. Okay, and then what? And then I stopped trusting my intuition. Is that serving you? Because now you're detached from your spirit body, and we've talked about you need all 4 bodies in alignment to really create an epic life. So what could you do to attach to that body again? Now, when it was scary, when the thing happened that was scary, what were you going through in your life? Were you super happy, like living your best life? Everything is great. Oh my God, this house is haunted. And a lamp fell on your head and then like life was miserable? Probably not. Usually when something happens that is a bit scary, it's because internally, inside us, there is something shadow. Shadow is scary, right? Darkness. But our shadow is a beautiful part of us. So something that we've suppressed, usually an emotion, dark, is inside of us. And spirit, holding space, says, I think it's time for you to look at that. And then spirit just holds space. And what that does is it brings the emotion to the surface. So now instead of being tucked in and locked in this little cave, it is now in front of you. And it is scary. So the spirit is not scary. The reflection, what spirit is reflecting back to you, is scary. Spirit is reflecting something that is for your highest and best good to look at. And that is scary. So in that moment, if you ever experience a scary moment with spirit, the best way to shift that is to place your hands on your heart and take a deep breath. You're going to say, Cindy, you make us breathe for everything. Absolutely, because taking a deep breath involves your physical body and relaxes your nervous system, takes you out of fight or flight. So step one, get out of fight or flight, and then say, okay, spirit, I am scared. You acknowledge the feeling. I'm scared. What is this trying to show me? And then you wait. Because your brain's going to be like, it's probably this, it's probably that, it's probably this, it's probably that. Tell the brain, say, okay, listen, we're just going to calm. We're going to listen. We're going to wait. We're going to be present. And this is a moment where it's super helpful to, this is why I'm a fan of journaling, but I'm also a fan of like brain dumps. This is where you just take a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and you just write like, what are you trying to show me? And then you just start writing. And this is a process also called angel writing. You're writing, oftentimes it doesn't even look like your own handwriting and you're just writing words and you're like, I don't even know what the words are coming out and I don't even know if they're coming from me. And this can be really powerful because you're just now processing that, you're witnessing that, and you're creating space for that on paper. Or you can dialogue it out, or you can think it out, imagine it out, whatever method works best for you, but you are going to create space for that scary feeling. I am scared, you acknowledge it. I'm going to create space for the fear. I'm going to let fear be okay. Make sure you're safe. You're in an environment, I am safe. And you just breathe through it and you create space for that. And it's super helpful, but spirit itself is not scary. Spirit is a reflection because spirit is you. We are all, remember, we are all made up of the same divine light. Energy is energy is energy. Therefore, spirit is energy. You are energy. It is a reflection. And if you're like, well, which spirit is it? And I know this is a concept that's like, what? But bear with me. When the sun is shining, I'm looking outside today, actually, it's a sunny day. The sun is shining. And you know when you're a kid and you draw a sunshine and you have all the little rays of sunshine? There's a reason for that. It's because the sun is a big ball of fire in the sky. But the rays of sunshine, the energy of sunshine, shines down on so many places. The sun is shining right now over my house. It might be shining over your house right now too. So am I like, it's ray of sunshine number 423 that is on my house. It is 232 that is on your house. No, we just say the sun is shining. So our loved ones on the other side are very much collective energy. They are the sun and they are shining on us, shining light on us. And when you shine a light, it sometimes casts a shadow. So when they're shining their light on us and we have shadow work to do, it can feel scary. And it isn't a fun concept to think of that. It's like, it's just the beautiful warm light. Even the moon, isn't the moon fascinating? Like just to think of, no matter where you're watching this from, during the lockdown, I made tons of friends all over the world. And I had a cluster of friends in the Netherlands and they're my family. They're my Dutch family forever. So if you are one of them and you're watching this, like I truly love you and your stroopwafels. But we created this, or we had this awareness or this big like aha moment of something, you know, when you already know something, but then you like really integrate it and you know it in your heart and soul. So we were looking at the moon one night and I was like, isn't it fascinating how right now we are all looking at the same moon? And I'm in New Brunswick, Canada, and you are in Netherlands. And like we're looking at the same moon. Like my eyes are looking at the exact same thing your eyes are, but physically, we are thousands of miles apart. So even like when they say all things are connected through energy, like even the physical body, like we were visual, our eyeballs were looking at the same thing on a physical 3D reality. So, of course, energetically, we're all connected. And once we can start seeing that and embodying that, that person that's driving you totally bonkers, you can go, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they're driving me totally bonkers. But that bonkers feeling is now within me. So what is it showing me? Oh, okay. It's teaching me that maybe I need to practice a little bit more patience. Maybe I need to practice a little bit more compassion, not only for others, but for myself. So if you see someone and they're doing something and jealousy comes up, jealousy is not a fun feeling, but it's a human experience and we all have it. Our knee-jerk reaction is oftentimes to bring that person down. Jealousy comes in and we're like, oh yeah, but, right? Something, they show us something, we're like, yeah, however, like we always have something to puke on. Instead, and here's what makes you a true aligned individual. And this is like spiritual enlightenment as well. Ooh, I'm wanting to puke all over them. That must mean I am jealous in some way. If I'm jealous in some way, is there something they're currently doing that I'm not giving myself permission to do? And therefore, they are coming on my path to activate that within me. Because it's not always your spirit guides that are going to come as messengers for you. It's not always going to be in a psychic reading or in a meditation session. No, spirit oftentimes brings you messages through other individuals. There's a reason you bump into the people you bump into. There's a reason you randomly fall on the video that you fell on. I know there's an algorithm, and a lot of people are like, well, Cindy, that's the algorithm. Do you know what? If you want to get to know yourself, especially your shadow self, look at your algorithm. Like when you take your phone, what is it showing you? Because that is data. It has collected data based on things you've searched, things you've looked at, things you've liked, things you've interacted with, things that how long you've spent on a certain video as opposed to another one. And it will show you the things that you really like. But simultaneously, it's designed that way. It will also show you the opposite of that. I know because on a lot of, I had a TikTok account where all I created was psychic medium stuff. And the only thing I got was psychic medium stuff. And I got so annoyed because I was like, well, there's no point in me continuing to do this work because everyone on the planet seems to be channeling these days. The algorithm is designed that way. It just shows you more of what you are putting out there, the words you're saying, the things you're doing, is showing you more of that. So then you're like, sometimes it's encouraging because you're like, oh, my people, I'm not alone. But sometimes it might have the flip side. You might be like, oh, well, there's no point in me doing this because everybody else is. That's just an algorithm. However, eventually, when you stop interacting, so I would not engage in the content in hopes to change my algorithm, what do you think it did? It then started to show me a bunch of videos of people saying psychic mediums were quacks, psychic mediums were charlatans, like all the anti-psychic medium stuff, because it'll show you the shadow and the light of whatever you are engaged in. The algorithm does that on your phone. Humans do that through co-creation. So the algorithm is actually like, not a thing that was invented by Zuckerberg. It was actually invented by spirit. We'll say that. But we are co-creating for a reason. It brings things out. Now, are there people who are just jerks? Yes, absolutely. Sometimes people are just jerks. We're all a little jerky sometimes. But so you don't have to start psychoanalyzing yourself for every single emotion you feel. That's like, I don't want you to drive yourself bonkers to the point where you need to start healing from healing all the time, because you are meant to still enjoy life and just be in the moment. But when you reflect back, this is the power of reflecting back at the end of every day, doing a little bit of journaling or reflection of what are some things today that went really good? What are some things today that I'm really proud of myself for? What are some synchronicities or some little winks from the universe that I saw today? And what are some things that really, I'm not super proud of? Or what are some thoughts that didn't really serve me? Or what are some actions that I took that I'm not really proud of? It just taking data, data matters. And that's what the algorithm is. It's just data. It's taking in data from things that, like I said, you've watched, you've liked, you've interacted with. So at the end of each night, reflect, take your own data and see, and then you get to change your algorithm. The world you're seeing in front of you, the world you're experiencing, you get to change it. You get to change the reality that you're living in by changing your algorithm through your thoughts, your emotions, your perception of the world. Some people say, yeah, well, like she has rose-colored glasses. Great. Aren't they better than the like yucky ones? Yeah, rose-colored glasses are fun. And yeah, there are moments to be still anchored in your reality. So I'm not saying ignorance is bliss. That's not what I'm saying at all, because that is when we dive into being a little too spiritual, right? We're too much in the spiritual world and we're not enough in the 3D reality. So we're not allowing ourselves to stand for a cause. We're not allowing ourselves to have like human passions and fighting for what's right. You can still do that from this place of alignment, though, from this place of I can be for something that you are against, and I can still see the divinity in you. I'm not going to be your best friend. So this is where sometimes people with the spirituality, they're like, we are all one. We are all in this together. Yeah, we are. But your environment creates your reality as well. Remember? So I can love you as a human without having to hug you or have you in my daily life. I can forgive you for the co-creation experience that we had while still honoring that what you did was really wrong. So therefore, you no longer have admission to my movie, to my life. I am the main character in my story. And you now don't even get to be a background prop. Off you go. But I still see you as a divine human being, and I wish you well. And I hope that you get the healing that you need. And I hope that you have a moment where you fall down on your knees and you pray or you connect with spirit or whatever it is. But I am not going to be the one to do that for you. That still makes you spiritually enlightened. So to be a spiritually enlightened individual, to be in your spirit body, is to still honor your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Spirit supports, nurtures, soothes, guides, coaches, sends little signals just to spark that magic. The spirit body, your spirit body, is the magic within you. And so many of us, with our inner child and our spirit body, those are the two bodies we were taught to tuck in somewhere, to hide, to not embrace. We lost our magic. We lost our magic. And then we wonder why the world is dark and cruel and heavy. It's because the emotion body and the spirit body are the lighter ones, are the higher vibe ones, are the more fun, sparkly, magic, imagination. How many times have you had this vivid imagination and you're like, so your inner child's like, oh my gosh, imagine we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and it's all excited, and then spirit's like, okay, I can nurture and soothe, I can support this for sure, and super excited, and then either your mental body or someone in your inner circle is like, okay, but realistically, whose reality? Who's realistically speaking are we speaking here? Yes, it is important to have your big visions and your big dreams, and then you can break it down into an action plan. And now, realistically, should you lose 50 pounds in a week? No, it's not healthy. But if you say that you want to lose 50 pounds and you're super excited, you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to be fun, I'm going to enjoy it, and realistically, it's going to be really painful, it's going to take forever. Actually, realistically, we can lose like 1 to 2 pounds a week in a healthy way. And so, I mean, 50 pounds in a year, you could get that done. You could get that done, realistically. So in what reality are we living? Because a year goes by really fast. And in spirit world, when they say time does not exist, that's what they mean. So when people talk about quantum leaping, You'll hear that a lot in the spiritual community, like you can quantum leap into a new reality. It's not that you actually just wake up from a meditation and you're on a different timeline, although they sometimes make it sound like that. It's that you just wake up from a meditation and you give yourself permission to show up as that. So the odds of you waking up from a meditation 50 pounds lighter, not much. I know, that's annoying. But the odds of you waking up as someone who will be 50 pounds lighter, there's no reason why not. Because you wake up and then you show up as that person. You make your decisions based on that person. Your belief systems are based on that person. So that's a quantum leap, is you choose to just be a different person and then unapologetically you show up as that, no matter what. And if someone doesn't like that, or if someone has something to say about that, you can listen to them with love, respect, and then you can, with love and respect, say, okay, well, this is a movie. This is season 2 of Cindy. No, this is season 2. So you were in season 1 and you were like secondary character. Like you were super important in season 1. Season 2, if this is gonna be your attitude, I think we're just gonna need, like, you're just gonna be a background character at a cafe. And every now and then I'll say hi to you. You get to choose. You are not only the director and the lead character of your own movie, but like you are. It is your movie. You get to choose. And Spirit says, yeah, do it. And then when you veer off in the wrong way, sometimes Spirit says, oh, cut. And you're like, oh, and you keep going. And then you find yourself in a pickle. And you're like, well, universe, why are you testing me? The universe is like, I'm not testing. Did you not hear cut? And you just kept going. So we just went for a snack and we're just waiting. We're holding space, waiting for you to come back. We ended the scene 5 months ago. You just kept going. Welcome back. Now can we resume? So Spirit, universe, does not test you. It does not. It supports you. You create your own tests through the reality that you're experiencing, through your beliefs, through your emotions, through your actions. That is the test. Which is really annoying, because then you're like, well, why did I choose this? I don't know. But again, you don't want to gaslight yourself. Oh, why did I choose this? If you have experienced something truly horrible, traumatic experiences, this is why, again, when I say the law of attraction, I'm not a huge fan, because people say, well, that your thoughts become things. That is you. That was your thoughts. No, you know what? Again, we incarnated into a 3D reality to have a 3D experience. Earth is messy. So sometimes you experience shitty things because Earth is messy. Because people do shitty things. And it's unfortunate. And it's just the way it is. So to believe that you are going to live a life that will never, ever have obstacles or ever, ever have shitty things happen to you, the Delulu may be the Salulu for you, but then when a shitty thing happens, then what do? It takes you out, doesn't it? Because you're like, I have zero resiliency skills. I am not self-led. I do not. Is there an adult in the room? Because who's going to take care of this? Spirit, help me, guide me. Sometimes just it gets messy. Your reaction to it, how you heal from that, how you dust yourself off and move forward. That is what is your responsibility. How you heal, that is your responsibility. What happened to you, let go of the blame. Love that version of you that co-created that experience. And know that it's not because you thought something. It's not because you had like a poopy desire rocket launched. That's not. Let's stop blaming ourselves when things go wrong. Let's just take responsibility for how we create our future. And that is so important. The other thing with manifestation is people can't manifest things for you. I watched a video the other day and the girl was devastated. Something horrible had happened to her. And she's like, it's because of you guys. She's like, you're all wishing me bad luck. And then poof, this happened. No, it's not how it works. Because at the end of the day, you have your free will. So even with Spirit, when I say Spirit guides you, Spirit holds space. If you decide, you know what, right now I want to do it on my own, I don't recommend it because then you're not in alignment, but you have the free will to say, I don't want any of my guides to join in this party. And they won't. They'll still just hold space. They'll say, okay. And you won't get messages. And you probably won't get synchronicities because they're just holding space. They're respecting your wishes of being left alone. Now, this comes in handy though, if you're very intuitive and like you feel a lot of energy, you feel a lot of that, the people's energy body, you feel a lot of messages from source, and you're going to Costco. You can say, you know what, I'm going to Costco right now, so you can send me like ease and flow and synchronicities and good sales. But I don't want to see everyone's dead grandparents. Like I don't want to see all the people that are in the aisles plus all of their relatives. Like I just don't, no messages for anybody, please and thank you. You can set those boundaries. Standards and boundaries are something you set for yourself. You can set them for spirit. You can set them for others. They're very important to have. And standards and boundaries are what really create the container for you to experience life through. So yes, have standards and boundaries and you have your free will. But on the flip side of that, a lot of people use the word empath. They say, oh, I'm an empath, and oh, poor me. Like they had a knee pain and now I feel the knee pain. Now I'm not making fun of empaths, please. Like I'm just trying to keep this fun and light, okay? But if you feel somebody's knee pain, like it was Sally's knee pain, and you interacted with Sally, and now you have pain in your knee because you're this you're this empath that feels all the things, I'm inviting you to be an empowered empath. If Sally has knee pain and you now have knee pain, you have poor boundaries. Sorry. Because now that you have physical knee pain, you are feeling it. It is no longer Sally's knee pain that you took. Sally has knee pain and you have knee pain. Two of you now have knee pain. Cool. Because you didn't have boundaries. And it happens. So if you are an empath who feels other people's pain, especially physically, that is an invitation for you to look at where you may lack boundaries in your life, where you may not be vocalizing your desires, your standards, your expectations, where you may not be saying no when you should, where you may not be saying, nope, that's a boundary when you should. Because Sally has knee pain. And you can observe, say, oh, Sally has knee pain. Sally, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm giving you love. I hope you feel better. Or maybe you're a practitioner. I'm a practitioner. Here's my business card. Whatever it may be, you can still have love and compassion for Sally. You don't have to take on Sally's pain. It's like when they say, in the airplane, put your mask on before assisting others. It's the same thing. Put your standards and boundaries on before taking on other people's stuff. So I'm not saying being an empath isn't real. It is, but it's a trauma response. Picking up on things that way, messages, energies, physical pains, is because you, chances are, were not allowed to be fully seen and heard, and therefore you learned to kind of walk on eggshells to really read the room really, really good. It's like, okay, I need to really read the room so I know how I have to show up so that I'm not shunned or told to shut up or told to whatever. Like I need to know because I'm walking on eggshells and it's hard to walk on eggshells. So you got really, really good at reading people. And now you pick up on a lot of things, but you pick up on things that don't belong to you. So stop doing that. Set better standards, set better boundaries, and allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be heard. And that's very important. So those are all things spirit body. Those are all things intuition, channeled messages, being an empath, creating your desires from a vibrational place. Now, people will sometimes say you have to be high vibe to manifest your dream life. Not really. Because if that were true, there's some really good manifestors out there that are not really good people. They just really believe in the yucky things that they believe in, and therefore they create it. So if you had to be high vibe, and I don't want to name them because I definitely do not want to have my videos taken off any platform, but I'm sure you can think of a few leaders and, history figures that were not high vibe, that still manifested a lot of people following them, a lot of people believing in what they believe. So even if you are sad, or even if you are doing shadow work, don't be scared that on a spiritual level that is going to create more sadness. I've heard people say like I'm healing my gut. I've had gut issues and I'm healing my gut. And then they're saying, okay, I'm going to set the intention that I'm feeling great and life is great and my gut is healthy. And then as they're setting the intention, then their gut starts to act out. And then they're like, oh, see, like, oh, I can't even do this right. And then like, no, no, cancel that, cancel that. Like they panic that they think that that moment of despair is going to send them more gut problems. It's not. It's not. That's not how it works. You can say, "Oh, okay, this is hard physically. Spirit, I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for strength. I'm asking for healing." It doesn't mean that you're gonna, like, just because you said that this is a shitty, pardon my French, pardon my pun, actually, more than anything, but like, just because it's a shitty situation doesn't mean you're gonna attract more of the shitty situation. What they mean by that is if you are constantly in a lower vibrational state, meaning everything you see is poop. Oh yeah, life is not fair. This person's so negative. That person's so dumb. Nothing ever works out for me. I never have any money. I can never have any fun. Like, if this is your soundtrack to your life, it's not because, like, Magical Sky Daddy says, "Oh, we're going to send you more of that because that's what you're asking for." That's actually not quite how it works. It's not a spirit body thing. It's a That's what you're believing, and therefore your emotions are blah, and then your physical body then starts to respond, right? Oh my God, ew. So then everything's blah. So then all you see is blah. So then life is blah. It's not a universe testing you. It's not your spirit guides punishing you. It's none of that. It's just you. So changing the way you think, changing your emotions, changing your belief system, that is what creates a superpower. Because if you wholeheartedly believe in something from a mental body standpoint and it evokes positive emotion and you are super excited about it, and then you take consistent daily physical action towards that thing, the universe, yes, fully supports you. Fully. So then you're seeing the synchronicities. The synchronicity, what does the synchronicity do, right? The spirit message synchronicity excites you. So it excites you, your heart. So now spirit is activated, your heart's activated. What does your brain do? Your brain's like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is working. The signs are there. I got a sign." And then what does your body do? More. Okay, let's go see if we can get more. So if you're going to play with the law of attraction and manifestation in that way, from a spiritual body standpoint, play with it for the fun. I remember going on a trip to Boston with a big group, and we were doing it was a trip. Actually, it was a trip to go to a law of attraction seminar. So my friend and I, we sat in the bus and we said, "Listen, we're gonna play with this. Like, what are some things we could manifest, just like for the pure fun of it, like not just completely detached." And she said, "We're gonna manifest like chocolate covered strawberries," and then there was a few other things, but it was just fun. And then the bus stopped at a market and we walked, and there was like the first case we see in this big market, like variety of things, but the first glass case we see, what was it? Chocolate covered strawberries. Now, is it that the universe just dropped them there while we were on the bus? No, the chocolate covered strawberries were there all along. But what happened is, because we were creating that excitement and that momentum, our brain was looking for them. And our body was like, "No, we're not going to stay on the bus because there's no chocolate covered strawberries on the bus. We're going to go out and explore." So we went out to explore and then we found them. Now, that being said, we could have probably stayed on the bus and maybe somebody on the bus would have bought some and then sat next to us or bought some and offered us some. So I do believe in those types of synchronicities as well. But there still has to be a participation and a fun part in that. But like, we didn't even buy the chocolate covered strawberries. It was just fun to see them. Actually, I think she bought one. Anyways, doesn't matter, but it was just fun. And like, okay, what next? And then what next? And then what next? So it was this series of fun, like manifestation, one after another after another. And what do you think that did? That got us so fired up. Like, our brain was like, we can create literally anything. Like, our inner critic was like gone. Our inner critic wasn't present. We were unstoppable that weekend. Our emotions were so excited. Our inner child was so giddy. Like, what next? What can we create next? And then the physical body was like, "Let's go. Let's do this." That is how you create your dreams, your reality, whether it be something as simple as chocolate covered strawberries, or whether it be something like creating financial freedom for yourself, losing weight, getting your dream home, creating lasting friendships, attracting a partner, whatever it may be. It is your belief combined with your beliefs, thoughts, combined with your emotions, combined with your actions. And today, what I talked about from a spiritual standpoint is to have those standards and boundaries of, I will not accept less than this. Because when you start to set those standards and boundaries, the boundaries are the container, right? The container that you experience life in. If you say, I will not let anything in my container that is not supportive of this new version of me. And when something that is not supportive of this new version of you comes in your container, you say, you must leave. And then if that thing that just left a mess, right? Because people will come into our world and sometimes leave a mess. They're gone, but we are still, the mess is in our container now. The empath, right? The mess is in your container. It is now your mess to clean up. But then the good news is when you clean up the mess, you've reinforced that boundary even more, and you've elevated your standard even more. So if you're looking for love, for example, and up until now you've only ever manifested partners that just weren't kind, or such a common one, I'm looking for love. I want a long-term relationship. I want the person that I will spend my life with and share really deep, profound moments with and just be with. I want my person. And you create a dating profile. And in this dating profile, as you're creating it, it says, what are you looking for? And you're like, well, most guys get scared if I say I'm looking for long term. So I'm just going to put casual because I don't want to scare them away. You have already stepped out of your own boundary, of your own standard. You have already lowered your standard. Your dream person, he, she, they, your dream person is there. And if your dream person is online looking for love, and your dream person is someone who wants a long-term relationship, do you think that you having long-term relationship as your checkbox is going to scare them? You're just going to scare away all the ones that are wasting your time. All the ones that you say, the universe is testing me. Honey. You're testing yourself. Step into your desires, the you that you want to be. You want that? You put long-term relationship. In the description, you put what you're looking for. When you go on a date, if it's a person that you were nervous, they were nervous, and you're just like, oh, it's not going to work. Well, maybe they were just nervous and you're nervous. Maybe they deserve a second chance. Maybe the second date is the best date you've ever had. Maybe it's because on the first date you're looking for fireworks and butterflies and rainbows and leprechauns and all the magic and all the things, when in fact that's actually not love. That's oxytocin. That's your hormones. That's like, wah, chaos. And maybe up until now you've thrived on chaos. But maybe real love, the love you're looking for, is actually calming to your nervous system. And you meet them and it's kind of more like a conversation with a friend. But then on date number 2, then it's like, oh, there's a profoundness here. There's a familiarity here. There's something. But maybe it's the flip side. Maybe it's date 1 and it's like, everything you're talking about does not match what I desire. And like you're on a first date and they're like, I don't know if I'm looking for anything serious right now because like I'm kind of getting over this like last relationship, but like I'd like to get to know you. You see a red flag, and instead of maintaining your standards and boundaries, you take that red flag and you think it's a DIY project. You are going to bleach it. You're like, I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix her knee pain. I can fix his broken heart. No, you are not Bob the Builder. You do not need to fix anyone. We are all on this planet to take radical self-responsibility for ourselves, for our own journey of evolution. So you define who you want to be. Learn how to be that, and do it from a place of alignment with standards and boundaries and desires. And would a person who is looking for a long-term relationship and their forever person, happily ever after, would they fix someone after one date? No, they would not. Now, if you are in a long-term committed relationship, you've been with your partner for a while and you're hitting a rough patch, the same applies. It doesn't mean, oh, they don't meet my standards and boundaries. They don't meet them anymore. Gotta go. No. Are some people worth fighting for? So you work together. You say, hey, here's who I'm becoming. Here are my new standards and boundaries. And I would love to experience that with you more than anything. I believe that our souls are, I believe that we have been connected for a reason. I believe that we can rekindle whatever we may have lost. Are you in? You invite them in your container. Hey, are you in? Now, if they don't come in, then you have a discussion to have. But if they want to come in, let them in and see where that takes you. Because although you are changing the you, when you change the you, when you're with someone, there's the you, there's the them, and there's the we. Well, the you is a part of the we. So when you change the you, it's going to change the we. And if you are waiting around for your partner to change, I want my relationship to go better, but they just need to change this. If they did this, then I'd do that. I've been the one to do everything. I've been the one to put all the effort. Okay, well, that's poor boundaries on your part then. But maybe now you can actually invite them in and say, listen, I feel like I'm the only one putting the effort, but I'm going to keep putting the effort. But this is the container I'm creating and I'm inviting you in. And if you choose not to come in, then eventually that container is just going to separate us. And I don't want that. You need to have the difficult conversations with people. Because on a spiritual level, yes, we communicate telepathically, but on a human level, we communicate with words. So your energy speaks very loudly. But this is where when we say, is this my intuition or is this my inner critic? Although you may believe that your energy and your behaviors are enough to make someone else know what you mean, know what you expect, sometimes it's not. Because they are reading your energy and they are interpreting it from maybe their wounded warrior instead of their intuition. So this is where it comes in handy to put in verbal words to spiritual messages. This is why mediumship exists. The medium who channels messages, basically the message comes in and you give verbal words to the message that comes in when somebody maybe is not interpreting the message from an aligned state. So get into alignment and then you will not doubt if something is a thought or an intuition. You will know. There is just a knowing. It's a knowing. It's a deep knowing. I know that this is my dad coming to give me this message. I know that this dime is from grandma. I know that my spirit guides are telling me to do this thing or asking me to do this thing. You just know and you don't doubt. When the doubt comes in, it's usually because it's messy and there's still some healing to be done. And that's okay. Healing is a beautiful thing. So allow yourself to use your words. That is the best way to be spiritually enlightened, is to co-create with the people around you. The best way to manifest or to create the life that you've always wanted is not to go up on a mountain by yourself in a cave and just be. I mean, that could be blissful for some of you. But the co-creation is the real magic. So if there's people in your life, you're like, but they're so low vibe. Maybe ask yourself why. Maybe have the difficult conversations with them. Shameless confession, I used to be a runaway. I'll run away and I'll just go over here and then that'll disappear. But there's beauty in friendships, relationships that you've been nurturing for a long period of time. There is beauty in that because you have had many versions of you. We've had many co-creations together. There's a foundation there that is really divine. And when you have been through shadow and light with someone, and you've learned to set standards and boundaries and use your words and listen, when something's just not jiving, you ask the questions and you zip it to listen, to really see people, to really hear people. You learn a lot about them, but you learn as much about yourself. Because a lot of times they're just reflecting back something to you. Someone will say something to you, say, yeah, but you know what? When you said this is how I felt. And you're like, oh my goodness, that is not at all what my intention was. And here's where I was coming from. And then this other person can hear that and see that and can, oh my goodness, it makes sense why you thought that, and it makes sense why I thought that. And can we heal together? Can we create space for that healing to occur together? So sometimes healing is a journey of self, but sometimes healing is a journey of co-creation with you, with other humans, and with spirit. So I hope that you allow yourself to connect with spirit within you, with your inner wisdom, with all of your loved ones who have crossed over. They are watching over you. They are with you at all times. They are cheering you on. And if you are looking to create a fresh start, let's say, for example, you're creating this fresh start because you've lost a loved one, they've crossed over. I want you to know, and I know right now, if you're in the grief process, it may be very heavy, but they are supporting you through that grief process. And although the grief process is so heavy, and sometimes it feels like you're drowning, it does get better. And you can ask for help. There are people around you who love you. You don't have to grieve alone. You don't have to suffer in silence. And what you do within, they say time heals all wounds, but it's not really time that heals all wounds, because we talked about the quantum leaping, right? Time doesn't really exist. It's the beliefs and the actions and the emotions that you do within that time. So don't rush your process, but allow yourself to feel joy and sadness together, because both truths can be true at the same time. And your loved ones, they want you to smile again someday. They're excited for the new version of you that you're creating. And if you feel big sadness because of the loss, that means you allowed yourself to feel big love. And love is always worth it. Your dreams are always worth it. You get to be this new version of you that may be a little bit bittersweet. And that's okay too. That's okay too if it's bittersweet. Some of you are creating a new version of you because of a resolution and you're all excited. And some of you are creating a new version of you that you didn't really want to have to create. And all of it's okay, and all of it's divinely guided. And the rules don't change. Just feel all the feels, love all the versions of you, connect with all of your guides, all of your bodies, and create this epic life. In our next module, we are going to talk about celebration and why it's important for your integration and how to really stay accountable. So by now you're finishing up. This is the homework today, right? You're finishing up your vision board. You're finishing up your list. You're kind of just finishing up everything that we've talked about all the way to now. And you're maybe listening a bit to your intuition, seeing if there's any new inspirations, downloading new things coming for you. And then once you have all that in place, well, we need to celebrate that. Like, you did the thing. You watched the modules. You did the work. This is big work. This is an entire program. This is why it's not just a 30-second reel. Like, I could have done this as an Instagram carousel if I wanted to. It doesn't have the same impact. You, on a spiritual level, allowed yourself to be in this energy, to listen to the message, to hear it, to get your own downloads as I'm teaching, to be all in. This is the magic. So we're going to celebrate that. We're going to integrate that into your cells so that you know how to stay consistent and how to keep yourself accountable, and like what happens after. Like, do I keep rewatching this? Because this moment may pass. But we're going to talk all about that and how to bring yourself back there. So I am excited to see you in our next module, which is all around celebration. Have a great one.